So this is a really, really, truly fun thing to play with. So what this does, it's a way to join two pieces of fabric with an heirloom technique. I've always referred to it as Spanish hem stitching, but it's called the bridging plate set. So for the Altair, the Destiny, Crescendo, those lines of machines, this is the one you would use, BLDY-FP. There's another one of these made only for the Solaris, okay? And you want to make sure with your Altair or your Destiny or a Crescendo, that line of machines, this is the set that will fit it. They're not interchangeable, but this one will not work on the Solaris. And in the same aspect, the one made for the Solaris will not work on the Altair. So what this is our bobbin plate cover, okay? When you open this up, this is what is inside. There's two baggies, okay? And there is a 5mm spacer and a 2.5mm spacer. I'm going to show you what those are here. Let's open them up. We're going to be playing with the 5mm one, but check this out. This replaces your bobbin cover. That's all it is to install it. Super easy to do. This is metal. If you see this flange right up here, that's your spacer. You butt your fabric up to each side of this, and it leaves that space, and then use a decorative zigzag or hem stitch to go across it and just catch the edge of each fabric. I have samples made, and we're going to do one live. The other size in it is the 2.5mm. Let me get this open. Come on, little baggie. I'm trying not to tear it. That's just me. I save everything. Okay. So here are the two pieces that come in the box. 5mm, 2.5mm. Look at the difference for the spacers on that. Pretty cool. Okay, we're going to play with this one. And then it also recommends that you use the open-toed foot for the machine. And where did my foot go? It was right here. Hello, there you are. It's a clear foot. And this is what it looks like. So if you like to do applique, this is also an applique foot, because you can really turn a sharp corner when you're appliquing the way that foot is made. Let me hold that up. There we go. As much as possible. Cool foot. You can see here, I would remove my clear bobbin cover. And then I'm just going to install there we go. I'm just going to install that right where my bobbin cover was. See how that fits in there? Nice and smooth. Right there, though, is that spacer I was showing you earlier. Now I'm going to install the open-toed foot. Get on there, you. There we go. And that open-toed foot, now I'm going to bring the camera really close so you can see how that fits up under there. Perfect fit. Nice and slow. You can see, though, how that fits. Check it out. Now I'm just holding the camera. That's why it might be a little shaky. But right there, where's my stiletto? It's just for a pointer. Right there is that 5mm spacer. I'll bet a piece of fabric on this side, one over here. You'll see here in just a moment. So what I've done, I have just finger pressed 2 charm squares. me just open this up. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Charm square, fold it in half. And I just did this for a demo. You could do this with any fabric, but you want a finished edge on your fabric before you join them together, because the raw edge will be seen if you just try to do two raw edges together. This is such a cool technique. I could see maybe joining quilt blocks together. I have a little project in mind that I'm working on. When I'm done with it, yeah, we might do a little workshop on that one too. So I'm going to raise my plate, and I'm going to get those up underneath as evenly as possible. Lower my foot. What I'm in over here on this side menu, I'm in number 3, and I've got stitch 3-10. Okay? So what you want to do with the Spanish hem stitch is select a stitch that makes stitches on both sides of the center design. And you'll see here in just a moment what I'm talking about. I'm just going to show you this, and then I have some samples to show as well. But you want to pick a stitch that does more than just one single thread. It's better if it does a repeat, or over, repeat, over, repeat, and works its way down. You'll see what I mean here. So I'm not going to pull on this because I want to keep this spacing. I will show you this. See here how I've got that, lined up. So there's my spacing. The other bridge plate that comes with this, the 2.5, that would actually reduce that by 50%. But I like the nice wider one because it really shows off the hem stitching that way. Okay, here we go. Now I'm just going to turn my speed control on my Altair down to about 50%, because this is something you really want to watch to make sure that needle is sitting inside each side of that fabric. And you don't want it to push up too hard against those two spacers, otherwise it'll pull it together too much. Boy, that stitch is really joining it without a space. So guess what? I have the width I'm going to lengthen that stitch up to maybe a 5. Let's see what that does. There we go, that's better. Once again, you should always play with some scraps of fabric to get the effect that you want. Oh, this is going to look cool. Love, love, love this. Think of doing like maybe though a table runner and joining squares of fabric together. If you have a serger, you can serge all the way around the edges and then run it through this on the sewing machine to do your Spanish hem stitching with. So, let's see if you can see this. You can see the light coming through where it's stitched. Here we go. Check that out. There's my finger in behind. Isn't that cool? That's just one of the stitches. I did alter the stitch because when it started out at machine settings, it really bunched up bad. So this is all I did was move it from a 3.0 length to a 5.0 length. Okay. Some of my other samples I did earlier today. Check this one out. But I like how you can see right through it to the back of it. It's really cool. That was a ladder stitch. This stitch was not sure which one that was. Which one was that, Richard? Oh, Richard, that was stitch number 3-09, I think. Yeah, let me put my hand behind there. Maybe that, yeah, it shows it. But isn't that cool? And I really like this one. This was stitch number, let's see here. It was in a different menu. I think that was in menu 2. What? Yes, menu 2, stitch 2-13. But I really liked how that one turned out. That looks really nice. Okay. And then this one was a ladder stitch, a different ladder stitch. This was 2-15. Now I use this contrasting thread so you could see it easier for this demo. But think if you used maybe a metallic thread, or maybe this is 40 weight thread. What if you use like a 30 weight in black? Black goes with everything when it comes to thread, especially with these jewel tone fabrics. This is a Tula Pink fabric, one of my personal favorite designers. Okay, but that's what that's all about. So let's try one more. Now, I have not tried the 2.5 millimeter bridging set. The 2.5 millimeter. Okay, I'm going to do the same effect, but I'm going to use a different stitch this time. I am going to use, I'm going to go to stitch menu 1 under utility, and I'm going to select, where's it at? Is it 1? I'm going to go to, yes, stitch 1-15. That's the multi-step elastic zigzag stitch. I'm going to make sure the width is all the way up, and the length I'm going to put up to like number, let's see, number 1. We're going to do it at number 1. Stitch length 1, stitch width 7. And we're going to just do it. So it's feeding really nice on that one. I'm going to hit my tie off button and cut the thread. So, so check this one out. We just did this one. So you can see that. Oops. There we go. So that's the multi-step zigzag stitch. You can see it does a really, if I pull on it, it's not coming apart. You can see I'm putting pressure on it. So the difference in the opening though, this would be a good way to see this. This is really why I did this. So you could see the difference in the gap. Okay, so over here, 5 millimeter, over here, 2.5. See the difference there? Pretty cool. So